She blinded me with science, Shag Dog.
Yes, you got to believe in the science.
Hey, I'm continuing. I'm continuing the Advent calendar. I'm on number 13. Let me pop mine open, and you go ahead and tell about yours while we're waiting.
I'm doing Pabst Blue Ribbon's hard coffee, the original one. I got a couple different ones. I did this a few months back. Still have the extra one, so I'm reviewing. I don't even know what the hell. I think it's 5% ABV. Shit,
Well,
I'm still trying to look for it.
Mine is the American Amber Lager. I have something here about the American Amber Lager. Let me find it. American Wheat Ale. American
Wheat Ale.
Where's it at? Amber. Where's it at?
American Amber Lager.
An extremely sessionable brew that gets its light sweetness and copper hue from crystal malts. More malty than a pale ale and with mild hop bitterness, this American Amber can be a versatile accompaniment to nearly any food.
All right. Beer Advocate, yeah, it says 5% ABV for yours.
Yeah.
They say it's an American Amber / Red Lager, which Amber Lager is a Red Lager, or vice versa. And that's about it. It's got 3 or 4 views on not very good on Beer Advocate, but there is one. Yeah, one of them's close to a 3, but the rest of them are like a low 2s. Oh, I got the Pabst Blue Ribbon hard coffee.
Time to pose. There you go.
Yeah, all those poses, and they won't show up in the 3 that they give you. Yeah. This one, Jammer, I don't have the info up, but I'm sure I can find it real quick. Let's look. Pabst Blue Ribbon Pabst hard coffee. I'll just say.
I tell you, what's amazing is these Minhas Brewing Advent beers. They all have pretty much the same color, except for like the stout.
Yeah.
This was a little lighter than the others with the orange and yellow hue. I mean, coloring and everything. The head is really frothy and nice, and it looks very nice. It's something that you would curl up in and want to take a nap. That's how nice and it looks. Inviting. Yeah. It's very inviting.
You're gonna nap. This one is 5% ABV. It actually gets a pretty high, 4 on Untappd.com, 3.9 circles out of 5. I'll tell you what the first 2 reviewers said about it on there. One gave it a 4 point something circles, didn't say nothing. And the next person just gave it 1 circle and said no.
Well, this Amber Ale is very American Amber Ale. It does have the smell of an Amber Ale. It's got the malty. You can smell a slight hop. The malty sweetness. Not much more than that, really. Maybe a little toastiness. Can't really tell. What about yours, Shag Dog?
It smells. I mean, if you get like say the Starbucks that's in the glass bottle, the iced coffee or whatever, it smells similar to that.
Yeah.
You might pick up a little alcohol. Like, wow, does that coffee have alcohol in it? It smells. Yeah, but it smells smooth, creamy, like a cold iced coffee. Yeah. Not so spectacular, but a plain old iced coffee. It's a little sweet, sugary.
Yeah, that Pabst Blue Ribbon coffee beer, I didn't really mind it. I thought it was pretty decent. Yeah. I liked it.
Yeah, they had I did the variety pack. They got like four different ones or whatever heck it is. They're all pretty good. Hazelnut, different ones.
See, I haven't had those. All I've had is the original.
Yeah,
to me, the original was pretty decent. So if the others are
And it
anywhere
looks like
near,
chocolate milk, though, huh?
yeah,
That's what it looks like.
yeah. Any nice aromas on that?
It just smells like coffee, sweet, sugary, a little bit of sugar in it. It smells
Yeah,
like if you get the, I don't know what flavor of Starbucks in a glass jar, you pop it open, that's what it smells like the taste of that. Yeah.
yeah. All right. Well, let's go ahead and give it a little I mean, a little, sippy.
Well, sippy. Yes, I'll get your sippy cup later.
Yeah, let's get a little sippy on.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Whoa.
I like Pabst Blue Ribbon's hard coffee way better than I like Pabst Blue Ribbon beer. So if that says anything.
Yeah, it says a lot.
And Pabst Blue Ribbon beer is just an adjunct lager. I don't. I'd rather drink Budweiser than Pabst Blue Ribbon. I don't know what the big deal is about Pabst Blue Ribbon, but
Pabst Blue Ribbon, to me, is not that great. I mean,
I like their other products, Schlitz. I even like Old Milwaukee better than Pabst Blue Ribbon. So
Schlitz. Schlitz. They should have went with Schlitz. They should have went with
yeah,
that Schlitz Gusto, and went nationwide with it, and really pushed it. Because
yeah,
I can tell you right now, that formula that they were able to, they lost the recipe years ago for Schlitz.
right.
So they had to bring all these brewmasters and people who had to taste the
Taste
Schlitz
testers and all that. Yeah, try to get the. I'm
back.
sure it's not like the original, but about
Yeah,
as close
but
as
it's
you can
probably
get.
pretty close.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, that that formula, it tasted really good.
And how
And
can you lose the formula?
I
I
don't
guess
know.
passing companies and then what do you call it, R&D, right? Cheapening it up and then just threw the original formula out, possibly. I don't
Well,
know.
yeah, that's the thing. Back in the day, they were number one in America. They beat Budweiser out. Budweiser was not the number one beer,
Yeah, they said it went back and forth a few times, 50s, 60s, but yeah, Schlitz
and they
was.
turn around and try to cheapen it up. And basically, that recipe was there. They turn around and try to cheapen it up, and probably somewhere down the line, we don't need this anymore. We're cheapening it. We're going with this
Yeah,
recipe.
especially
And
when
somebody
Stroh's
probably,
bought it.
yeah. And either that or when they sold the Schlitz, they said, well, you know what? Let's screw them over. They'll never taste like their original Schlitz.
Right.
We'll get rid of the
You never
rest of it.
know. They might have
Yeah.
done that.
Yeah. Oh, okay. You can
Yeah,
buy the
that's their
company.
best beer, Pabst. Out of all the all these different beer brands that Pabst own, I think they should sell them back to get some city conglomerates, corporations in the cities that get together and buy these beers back so they get it back from Pabst so they can make those beers, making beers great again.
Yeah. But Schlitz in general is much better beer than Pabst
Yeah.
Blue Ribbon.
Old Milwaukee, I even like. I mean, even though I said Old Milwaukee's the one that makes me want to fight, you said Miller High Life's the one that makes you want to fight. I drink an Old Milwaukee, I want to fight. But it tastes better in Pabst. Or I said it makes me want to rob a store, right?
Yeah. This Advent beer, crafted for the holidays, American Amber Lager, 5% ABV. It has a real malty character, real malty backbone. Maybe a slight caramel or caramel. Um, it's sweet. It's almost over sweet, sickening sweet. In general, it's a basically C plus beer, and a swallow. That's what I'm giving it.
This hard coffee, I mean, it's nothing spectacular, but it's not bad. It tastes almost like a regular iced coffee that you'd buy, Starbucks iced coffee.
Yeah.
It is a
So it
little
doesn't taste
sweet.
like coffee and beer.
No, it's just like it tastes like coffee. like a sweet sugary coffee. Too much cream, too much sugar
A
for
little
me.
roasty bitters or what?
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if this has like vanilla in it. Probably a little bit vanilla. I mean, there's a little bit of roastiness underneath, but it's a lot of cream, sugar. It's like someone put too much cream and sugar in a good coffee.
Okay.
Basically what it is. I like it though. I give it a B minus for a malt beverage or whatever it's considered. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, I'll never buy an advent calendar beer again.
Yeah. Speaking of Old Milwaukee beer, yeah, have you seen the Netflix series about Jeffrey Dahmer?
No, I haven't. I'm going to watch it, but I haven't as of yet.
I don't want to ruin anything for you, but when he orders these drinks to drug the gay guys, to get them to go home with him or whatever, he always orders 2 whiskey cokes. That's what he goes up to the bartender and says, 2 whiskey cokes. That's what he orders. But I wonder if he ever had Pabst, originally from Milwaukee, right? Because he was in Milwaukee during those years.
No.
Or Old Milwaukee or Miller. What was his favorite beer? Yeah. They don't say it on there.
That's
Probably because those beer companies paid Netflix. Don't you mention our beer on there? Because he probably did have a favorite beer. Because he did drink beers in there, but they didn't say what it was, I don't think, or show
he
it.
probably named. He probably ordered it whiskey Coke. He probably wrote Jack and Coke.
Probably. Possibility. Jack probably got him. Don't you say our names, motherfuckers. You're paying us $5 million or whatever amount of money.
Damages for that.
Yeah.
I don't know. There was a recent show that I watched that I can't remember what it was. Oh, yes, it was Night Court. Have you seen the new Night Court?
I haven't seen it. No, I saw
Oh my
previews.
God, you haven't seen it?
I see previews. Is the black lady the bailiff? Is it the same lady or no?
No, it's a different one.
Oh, okay. So the only original guy is the one guy, right?
There's a line in that they're talking about. All right, somebody's changing all the directory letters, and names, moving the names around.
Oh yeah.
Like changing it from somebody's name to I don't know what like how Bart Simpson used to call up and ask for a person's name.
Right. Say like the judge's name is Judge Bob whatever. They change it to Boss Hogg or something, or put the
Come on
letters
now,
up.
come on. Bart Simpson. He was like
Well, yeah, I know that. Hey, can you
IP Freely.
Can you call for Amanda Hugging Kiss?
Yeah, yeah. It would change the names around to where it says stuff like that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And the woman, the bailiff, the black bailiff that you're talking about, was getting upset because she was trying to find out who did it. And somebody said, "Oh, it's just a bunch of letters and all that, changing letters around and all that stuff. Hey, don't make a big deal about it. It is a big deal. Just ask Vanna White."
That's pretty good.
That was good, and that's one of them that sticks in my head. Whenever I'm like, just ask Vanna White. Turning letters is a big deal. Just ask Vanna White.
Boy, imagine somebody did that where I worked. Where I worked before.
Yeah.
And they had one right there at the main entrance.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, 2 people working in the room there, they're busy, so they're not seeing who's out in that room doing stuff. So somebody changed some stuff on their bad stuff, put bad words up there. And when some high-ranking people came in the morning, they saw that, oh my God, they're having a fit. Well, I know who did that. They had cameras in there. They found out who did it because they looked at the cameras. So like, you tell me you did it, you're on camera, yeah. But yeah, he put some good words up there like Colonel so and so and shithead or.
It's funny. I mean, Night Court. I mean, this new Night Court. It pays homage to the previous Night Court, and it has potential. Mm-hmm. It was a pretty good first episode. I haven't watched the second one yet, but it's
Is
pretty
there?
good first episode. It had Dan Fielding in it, right? Was
Yeah,
John Larroquette,
right.
and
The
I'm
blonde
glad
on
they
it.
did that. Huh?
That blonde lady still alive, or?
Who, Marky Post?
Uh-huh.
I don't know if Marky Post is still alive, but
Is that her name? Her real name?
yeah, Marky Post. Or you're talking
Marky?
about the other one?
Oh, she
Because
wasn't blonde, but like Sandy or Dirty Blonde or whatever. You
it was Marky Post, and then there was another lady who was blonde on there too that was on
Oh,
there, and
Marky Post. Okay. She's dead. She just died in 2021, August 2021.
well, what's good about it is, and I think Bull is still alive. Richard Mole.
Richard Mole. Uh, yeah, he's 80 years old now. Wow. That makes you feel
Um,
old. You're like, wow,
yeah.
they're 80.
John Larroquette's in his 70s. Yeah.
Let's double check. John Larroquette. 75. Yeah. I
Um,
know the judge is dead.
yeah, and so they have the idea of the judge's daughter, Abby Stone, coming to
Oh,
work in the same night court that her father worked.
oh okay.
Which,
You think any of those
that
make
brings into
guest
the
appearance, Shammer?
what's that?
Think Bowl will make like a guest appearance or anything? Or
They say that he's going to,
oh, okay.
but what I was getting at, and normally when they do something like that, they usually pick the son for the father, you know.
Yeah,
So it's kind of strange they picked the daughter for the son, other than for demographic and appeasing the politically correct forces that are out there.
right. I mean, well, you might have a daughter. I mean,
I don't doubt. Don't get me wrong. There's daughter, and then they do.
right.
But what I'm
But
getting
when they
at
do it
is,
all the time, that makes you think, well, it's got to be a woman, a black woman, or a black man. And then from there, you go down, change the characters I'm talking about to new
yeah.
characters. Then it's a Chinese, Oriental, whatever,
Oh, look
Asian.
at the. All right. I'm talking about Night Court right now, right?
All right.
And, and Dan, he still did that "Ah!" type thing. You know
Yeah.
how he does that? He did that in that show, the first episode, and I cracked up laughing because I instantly remembered two or three times where he's doing that with the women, doing something, and he, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But they portray him differently and everything because he's older and more mature, all that stuff and everything. Um, he's the one who won all the Emmys, remember, from Night Court.
Oh,
So
really? Oh,
yeah, back in the day, he won all the Emmys from back in
that's
then.
good.
So here he is now recapturing the role, and it's like boom, it's Dan again. I mean,
Huh.
he's perfect in it.
And what has he played in since then?
He's played in a few things. He played in Blind Date, movies and stuff like that. Blind Date is the one that pops out real quick because you had mentioned Bruce Willis earlier today.
Yeah.
So I mean, I go back to Blind Date, and Dan Fielding was in that one.
So are
But
you saying this is the best remake show that you've seen so far from the 80s?
huh?
Is this the best remake show you've seen so far from the 80s?
So far from the 80s,
70s, 80s?
let me put it this way: they have the same setup. It looks very, very close to being the same, if not the same.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, they're paying homage to the previous show in the sense because they have Harry Stone's daughter Abby. They have John Larroquette playing Dan Fielding, which they had to have somebody from that show. You know how you know what I'm saying, to make it
Yeah, just to
seem
give
legit.
it a stamp of approval,
Continuity,
basically.
yeah. And
Because, I mean, Magnum PI doesn't have anybody from the original show, right?
No, and they didn't use anybody from the
I
original
don't think
show.
SWAT had anybody from the original show. Definitely, not that I'm aware of.
But as far as I'm concerned, it has potential to being a good show if they keep the writing. There's enough
Yeah,
there. In fact, I was
yeah.
talking to a guy from work. He was really excited about Night Court, and he turned around and said, "Wouldn't it be cool if they brought back Phil?
I don't
You
know who
remember
Phil.
Phil?
No, but let me look.
Phil from Night Court
Phil from Night Court.
used to be the bum that Dan had doing all these little tasks, errands, and stuff that
I
for him."
vaguely remember. I didn't watch Night Court that much. Once in a while, but
And so we thought it would be funny that if Phil was actually like he did this thing that Dan had said to do, and he made money off of it and became super uber rich, yeah,
yeah,
and comes across Dan, and here he is with two or three women with him and all this stuff, and Dan
uh,
see that and think, "Oh my God, is that's you, Phil?"
yeah.
You know,
Back in the '80s, I was more into real life shows like Growing Pains, Family Ties, The Cosby's.
real life.
Yeah.
That's not real life.
No.
Anyway, what I was getting at is that it would be funny to have Phil come back and do something like that too. I just think there's a lot of potential there.
Trevor, I'm
Now,
really happy for you though, because I mean, all the shows, Magnum PI, what was the other one? Hawaii Five O, all these different shows you used to love, and now the new ones you're like, oh, this sucks, and this one you're excited about. So they finally
I,
got one.
because I see the potential, and
Yeah,
they seem to be doing, and there's not a lot of political correctness in it, which is really a refreshing change.
the show I want to see
Now,
come back is Buck Rogers in the 20th century, but I think that guy's dead, right? The guy who played Buck Rogers. Pretty sure he's dead.
I'm not sure.
I think he died in the 90s.
He
Oh,
might have
who played Buck Rogers in the 80s?
Gil Grissom, Gil
Bill
something.
Gerard. Yeah, he died. Wait, maybe he's still alive. Let's see. Born? Doesn't say died. Yeah, he's still alive. He's 80 years old too. Wow.
Oh yeah.
I thought he was dead. I haven't seen him in nothing since Buck Rogers. Have you?
Maybe a few things, but that's it. Now,
Must have sucked
here's
after
my
that.
question for you. Did you ever watch that '70s show?
Yeah, they got the '90s show now on Netflix. I haven't seen it yet though.
Well, let me just tell you,
Don't ruin it.
be prepared for some political woke correctness,
Really?
which that '90s show wasn't about. I
That's
mean,
something show.
let me put it, that '70s show wasn't about that,
Right.
and that '90s show shouldn't be about it because it wasn't really all that correct back then.
Right.
It was the 2020 show or 2015 show, that would be more like it.
Right.
Because they have this whiny either Asian guy. I'm not going to say what nationality he is.
Yeah.
A whiny Asian guy who's
He's got to
gay.
be either Korean or Chinese.
He's gay,
Yeah.
and he's
Japanese.
got this whiny voice that goes, "China, I just don't understand why you have to be that way. I don't. I have a boyfriend up in Canada, you know."
He's Chinese. He's got a boyfriend in Canada.
And it's irritating. Most of the people on there, the kids, I have to tell you, the kids themselves, they're not very likable. I mean,
Yeah.
the one guy that comes close to the original characters, that's supposed to be the son or daughter,
Yeah.
is Kelso.
Oh, really?
Kelso's kid is a part of the group, and he looks almost like Kelso, and he acts kind of like, "Hey,
Oh,
girl,
really? I
hey,
heard
girl."
what's his name? The guy with the curly hair and the glasses. He's not in there because he's got legal problems going on. Had sex with 17-year-old, 6-year-old girls, or whatever the hell's going on with him. But yeah,
But they could have somebody in there that's what was his name?
Fez. Yeah.
Well, they had Fez in there too.
Oh yeah.
They had Fez and they had Foreman and what's her name that was with Foreman. They got married.
Forget her name. Yeah. Oh,
Donna.
they got married, huh? Oh,
Donna.
Donna. Yeah.
Donna and Foreman had a kid, and they named her Leia.
Like Star Wars.
And then you have Foreman wanting her to go to space camp with him, but instead she wants to hang out at Red and what was his mom's name?
No, not Edith. That's a different show. Uh, Type for yourself, Edith. I can't remember her name. Mrs. Foreman.
Yeah, what was her name?
I can't remember. I'll Google it for you, Jim.
Dolly? Not Dolly. Shit.
What was Mrs. Foreman's first name?
According to IMDb, with over 300 television appearances to her
Kitty.
Deborah Jo Rupp,
Kitty.
perhaps known for her
Red and Kitty.
Yeah.
They have them on there. Now Red, he's walking with a cane.
Is it the real Red?
Yeah, it's the real Red.
Oh, okay.
Real Kitty.
Oh, that's cool.
But they're on there, and Red is pretty funny, and Kitty is really funny. Both of them are they play their parts perfectly.
That's cool.
Fez comes on, and he plays his part where he's dating an older woman like you.
What? I don't date older women.
Let me tell you, Fez is just like you. I realized it when I saw him in the '90s show. That Fez is just like you. He goes for the older women.
I don't go for older women, Jared. Older women are attracted to me. That's
Let me put it that way. Older women are attracted to him, and he goes with them.
Yeah.
And he's a hairdresser now.
That's funny.
But he's not just
any
any
hairdresser now.
He's not just any hairdresser. He is the hairdresser that makes his own commercial, and he's a hair, Fez, hair.
Huh.
And he's very popular and all that stuff, and very famous. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. That's good.
And but I mean, overall, you get Leia and the rest of the kids seem very animated, mechanical, and very. It's not natural. It seems.
So what's woke about it?
Huh?
So what's the woke part about it?
Well, you have the kid
Chinese.
who is the Asian gay guy,
Right, but that's when the gays started coming out. Was the '90s.
and you have the girls. The girls. I mean, it just seems like the girls. I mean, you had what's her name? What was her name? Kelso and
Jackie.
Jackie. Jackie was younger than what she was back then. She was underage back then.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, she was super young back then.
I guess so. Yeah.
In real life, she was super young, and she played an
she was
older.
probably like 15 or something. Huh?
Yeah, and she was really good even when she was younger. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Most of these kids, they don't seem very good at acting.
The kids these days, Jammer. I watched a video of some college somewhere up north. They had a block party. I guess they do it every year. They haven't had it for a couple of years because of COVID. Block party for the college. But all these kids that were getting on the camera were all sounded dumb as hell. I was like, these kids are in college, young. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
But anyway, what I was getting at is that these they're not very good. They seem like Disney actresses and actors.
Oh, Disney. Wow, that's even worse.
You know, kind of like Disney teen actors. You know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you know how they're very, I mean, mechanical and very not smooth and all that stuff.
Yeah, I get you. I get you.
I mean, back in I've rewatched that '70s
Not
show.
real life, like you can tell it's acting.
All right, it's 30 minutes, so let me go ahead and finish this up. I've watched that '70s shows. I went back and watched them and everything, and even in the first few episodes, when the people are supposed to be getting used to their character, gaining, you know how I'm talking about, right? When a new show
Building the
starts,
character.
the characters have to be, the people have to get comfortable doing the character,
Yeah, you're building your character. Wow.
building it. You're becoming the character and everything.
Growing.
Yeah, back in the when that '70s shows first started, it was very smooth, very realistic, very natural. This is mechanical, not smooth at all.
And
It's
again, Jammer, someone who grew up in the 70s, say they're not, I mean, we lived in the 70s, but say someone who was teenagers, early 20s in the 70s, were watching that show and be like, this crap is unbelievable.
no, but what I'm getting at, you could say some of the stuff they did wasn't believable. You
Right.
could say some of this because even in that '70s show, I question some of the stuff that they say in the '70s.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm getting at is the acting itself,
Oh, okay.
being making you and the character itself one person that that naturally, you know what I'm talking about. All right, look, let me put it this way: you try to be Captain Kirk, right?
Yeah.
You do your Captain Kirk, right?
Mm-hmm.
It sounds it's not bad and all that stuff, but it's not Captain Kirk, right?
Right, right.
It's not smooth. It's not effortless
That one
in
I
doing
did
it.
a horrible Captain Kirk.
But James T. Kirk, he does Captain Kirk, and it's smooth, easy, natural.
He is Captain Kirk.
Exactly. You take somebody like James Garner doing. James Garner is a perfect example. James Garner's Rocker Files, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he's also what is that
The
gambler?
Notebook.
Huh?
Oh, the Notebook.
Well, the Notebook, and he was doing himself basically,
Yeah.
and everything that he's ever done, it was him.
Mm-hmm.
But it was him doing the lines of a character.
Right.
It's very natural, effortlessly, very
Yeah.
smooth.
Just like I would do, probably.
Yeah. Well, that '90s show is not like that.
The
It
new
has
one, yeah.
potential, and I watched the whole first season, and maybe they'll get used to their characters, and maybe they'll get comfortable in them, and they'll seem more natural and more effortlessly, or
Could
whatever you
be.
want to call it.
Did you ever see that 80s show they came out with?
No, I never saw an '80s show.
Yeah, there was an 80s show. It wasn't them. It was like a different group, but I heard it's horrible. Like they had a guy with the big satellite phone, like this big.
Yeah,
Nobody had that crap. You know anybody had that crap? Nobody. One person out of like 80,000 might have had one of those, or maybe even more.
maybe
A
the
bunch of them.
backbone.
It was just too, extreme. Basically, 80s.
Yeah.
Nobody had the stuff they were showing in the 80s.
That's the problem with some of these. They want to incorporate some of those type of things in
Right.
there, and then you can't really incorporate it with the characters that you have because
The only
it
one that
wouldn't.
comes close, the 80s, is the Chris Rock show, whereas Chris Rock supposed to be when he was a kid. Some of that was, I can relate to some of the stuff in the 80s,
And
But
what's his name? Well, I don't think that's really was in the. That was more like the '60s, wasn't it?
which one?
What's his name? They made a remake of it now, and they have it in the
Oh,
girl
yeah, yeah.
perspective.
Wonder Years.
Wonder Years, yeah,
Yeah, it was supposed to be the 60s.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Man. I'm ready.
Okie dokie, as you used to say.
Yeah,
Okie dokie.
I'm ready to move on. I said my piece. I don't really care for the '90s shows. There's hope there.
Yeah.
The '90s show, Night Court, a lot of potential. Good first episode. Hope they continue on and grow.
Well, hopefully. Well, maybe we'll come out with a new Knight Rider, huh?
I'm surprised they did do a new Night Rider.
Oh, they did? Oh,
Yeah,
must have sucked.
that's like MacGyver. It's still on.
Yeah, there's a new. Yeah, is it a black guy now or?
No, it's a MacGyver and it's still on. I'm surprised.
Is
because
it
I
a
know
white guy as MacGyver? Oh,
white guy as MacGyver. Yeah.
oh.
Hey,
I
did you
think they
know
should.
that? Okay, all right. Here's a perfect example, right? Everything goes in cycles, right? And now it's going to the 80s,
Yeah,
right?
I think
But
they should
a few
call it a
years
new
ago,
A
it was the
team.
70s, right?
Yeah,
And Kojak, Kojak,
they
they
got to do
came out
Kojak.
with a Kojak remake TV show that had Ving. What was his name? Ving,
Nick
black
Big.
guy,
Uh, Vin Rams.
something like that. That played him in the new reboot of Kojak.
Okay, okay.
And now they're talking about movies for Kojak
Uh,
with Vin, the white guy, or
Vin
the
Diesel.
Hispanic, Vin Diesel. Yeah,
Uh, I won't watch it.
the Vin Diesel actually seems like he'd be closer
A
to.
little bit, yeah. Tully Savalas, yeah.
Yeah,
I think we should make
and,
a new Dirty
and let's
Dozen.
just be honest. Telly Savalas is like Ricardo Montalban. He can take a stupid line, a stupid character, and make it seem so damn fucking
Yeah.
cool.
So hey, speaking of that, Tully Savalas looks like Ricardo. What's his name? Ricardo Montalban and Vin Diesel's love child,
See,
or Vin Diesel does.
Ricardo Montalban can turn around and say Corinthian leather,
Yes, or
and you believe that that's damn good stuff. The Corinthian leather.
revenge is a dish best served cold.
Yeah, that's the one line I was about to say. He could take that. I'll chase you around the rings of Nebula and Tari's flame and all that
Right.
stuff like that. And it's such a freaking corny line, but Ricardo Montalban brings it on and owns it and makes it seem so freaking real.
Right.
And
And they cut out a part of that scene. Actually, I don't know if you ever saw the deleted scenes, but when he went on with that, the rings of Nebula, all the way to the annals of Uranus.
no,
They cut that part out for some reason. I don't know.
and then I could see Telly Savalas, Who Loves You
Oh,
Baby.
here it
He
is,
even
Josh.
did a freaking song, Who Loves You Baby.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And
Hey,
yet he made it sound cool and good and fun.
Leonard Nimoy did a song about the Hobbits or Frodo or one of those.
Yeah, that wasn't cool.
No. Maybe if you're tripping on acid, it might be.
All right, thanks for watching, commenting, subscribing, liking, and sharing. We'll see you on the next one, guys. I'm Jammer.
I'm Shag Dog.
We are the Spit a
Hey,
Swallow
wait.
Beer
We got
Review.
one comment. First comment.
Oh yeah.
Hey guys.
Hey, Jammer fan.
He's probably gone now, but Jammer fan, you can say more than just hey guys.
Yeah, come join us. Just to say hi at least.
All right. See you on the next one.